welcome to my channel. Sorry, I have been watching my video and I'm seeing a kind of lag, so hopefully it's not too laggy for you guys. Alright, look, it's my weekly whip and chat. Hello, welcome. Too crazy. Grab your tea or coffee or alcohol. Oh, I've just noticed my curtain is open. For a start. Ooh. Ugh, I rearranged some things yesterday and my curtain got snagged and my chair got snagged. That's a bit better. You can see something. This is the square we're going to do. I'm kind of looking, why does that look so fuzzy? Don't mind me. Yeah, I have no clue what this is. Absolutely no clue. And I'm running out of big gaps to leave in between. So, yeah, I don't know. It could be the head of grass? I don't know. I haven't, and my partner, this is a mystery project. Sorry, I'll get there. This might be a bit scattered, okay? Just, I'll explain, I suppose, as we go. Maybe I'm stoned. Codeine. Yeah, don't mind me. My partner and this mystery exchange, this was initiated by, I'm going to have to DP while I do the talking, but it's going to be scattered, just warning you now. This is the mystery DP, which I have been doing for the last couple of whip and chats. You're probably with me already, or even way ahead of me already. So, my partner in this is Julie, and she has done the bottom section, I think, of hers. It looks fantastic. I don't know if she's got any clue, and I don't know if it's getting quite weird yet. It would be all kinds of cool if it is actually getting quite weird. I'm going to have to put these into the lid because I've just put new blue tack into this pen. And yeah, it's not quite shaped correctly, so I've got to do some manipulating to just bed it in. Alright, so yes, the mystery DP was started by Rebecca Schilling, which is Crafting Journey with Rebecca, or Crafting Journey is the Facebook group, I think, that she's got. There is going to be another one in September. You can sign up now if you're interested. I'm not sure if she's doing the same thing, which would be Ever Moment, which means it's square, but they're good. And then she'd be matching up size for size. For people, it doesn't matter. But when Julie, for me, is over in the States, doesn't matter if you're international. You just leave plenty of time to get it ordered, and there is no issues with that. We're not necessarily collaborating online or anything. I'm not even sure Julie has a channel. That hasn't really been the deal. The deal has been just post photos and progress and things like that and enjoy it. So if you're interested in doing a DP mystery swap, you know, jump in on the group. If you need the link, if it's not in the description, please message me or comment and I will get the link to you. Yeah, so we picked a 40 by 50. I think hers is a 50 by 50, you know, so we were kind of keeping similar size. Some have done a swap with 30 by 40 just because they feel that they can manage it. This is kind of my sweet spot, 40 by 50 for detail. And certainly the image I was looking for her needed to be that bit bigger. So because I wanted to make sure that the detail was in there, so I kind of pushed, I think it's 50 by 50, maybe it's a 60 by 60, I don't know. Anyway, it's big enough for the detail, and the bit that I saw, I was happy with what she's got, so that's really all that mattered. So there's that's what I've done. Now, I think I have only done three sections, so this is my fourth section of 28. If I can remember my counting when I divvied it up. So yeah, there's a lot to go. I think I've done 2 on camera. Oh my goodness, there's actually a lot more arrows. I've got a glare right at the top from my angle that I was missing. Alright. So yeah, some of it's going to be done on camera. I did. Where are you? Hourglass. I've been picking out all my drills as I usually do. And I, yeah, knew I missed one. Anyway. Yeah, so some's going to be on camera and some off camera. It was kind of nice DPing off camera with no pressure to talk. It was just, let's just DP. Yeah, we'll see how we go. Alright. Alright, okay. Life, where are we up to? I have a week off work, trying to get used to pain meds with my back, trying to get the mobility back in my back, that kind of jazz. And other than the side effects from codeine, which is not a whole bunch of fun, it's kind of doing okay. It is what it is. Now, one of you angels out there, not naming names, because, you know, it was just a very generous act anyway. But a friend of mine was listening to one of my WiPnChats, and then we were chatting online, and she suddenly asks me, what size bed have you got? I was like, okay. And the next thing I know, there's a delivery, and I'm kind of thinking, I don't buy online from that store. Very strange. And I'm kind of going, oh my god, you're so naughty. So I sent her a message straight away. Sent her a message, knowing that it was going to be a bit of a delay for her to see it. Anyway, yeah. Put it on the bed. There's a queen size electric blanket. And I'm thinking, oh my god. The generosity. And it was just like, oh, why would you do this? I mean, I know why you did it, but yeah, thank you. Anyway, put it on the bed. And kind of thought, oh yeah, I'm gonna, you know, go lie down and see if it works, and read the instructions, you know, because I'm a girl. And it said, basically, cook the bed for 3 hours before your first use. And it was like, you kidding me? What? Apparently it takes the moisture out of the bed, out of the mattress. Yeah. And I was like, okay, this is a new thing. It's been years since I've ever had an electric blanket on my bed. Anyway, didn't have it on that night. Turned it on the next morning, and the heat is instant with this thing. It's incredible. So turned it up full, put both sides on, and let it cook all day. And then I got back into bed, I don't know, sometime in the afternoon for a lie down. And the bed was all toasty, and I'm lying there going, oh, you are an angel. so nice. I had been wearing a heat pack. There's a sticky heat pack we can get. It's kind of like yay big, A5. No, a bit smaller even than an A5. It's small, and I've been wearing this heat pack on my back for a couple of days, although the codeine has been making me sweat like a don't know what. So yeah, the heat on my back has just been gorgeous, and then having the electric blanket. So what I've been doing is flicking on the electric blanket in the morning after taking my meds to bed with me, to be able to take in the morning, like half an hour to an hour before I have to get up, and having the electric blanket on, and it's just bliss, absolute bliss. This morning, hubby comes into me going, you need to get up, there's steam coming off the fence with the sunshine on the soggy wet fence because it's been raining all weekend, And I'm kind of going, really? I don't want to have to get up. I need to go and have a shower, let alone anything else. I missed one. And yeah, I reluctantly got up because I needed to feed the cats, and it was already after 9 o'clock. And yeah, went out, tried to take pictures of steam billowing off the fence as the sun is beating down on it, and I'm kind of going, I'm going to sit in the sun for an hour drinking my coffee in the morning. Now, I did have one regret. I should, and I didn't. I should have got my crocheted rug that I did with Marissa, and I should have bundled it up behind me like a campfire blanket, and that was my one regret. The sun on me directly was gorgeous, but the air behind me was not so nice. So it didn't last as long as I thought I would, but Sophie ended up coming out and having a play because she had been playing in the lounge while I was out on the deck, and it was kind of like, it's nice. It's reasonably dry on the deck. We've got these cement sheets, so it's not like a wooden deck or anything. So it's cement sheets that are painted with grit in it. So it's not slippy or anything. And she's barefoot, you know, 100% of the time she's home. She hates shoes and socks. She's actually started taking them off in the car now as well, which is a pain in the ass, because you put her in the car to go somewhere and then she's ripped off her shoes and socks in like 2 seconds. And you're about to get out of the car because we live, you know, 5 minutes down from the shopping centre that we'd go to. And I was like, oh man, bloody kid. So the other day, when she had been in the car and she'd flung off her shoes and socks again, I said, right, I'm jack of this, you can go boho and up the stairs with bare feet. So she's crossing the concrete, the gravel kind of rock, which is kind of sharp, it's not river rock, and then the soggy path, and yeah, not a bother on her, bloody kid. Yeah, she's going to be one of those kids. We still have grown adults in Australia who will walk around barefoot. It's really, really weird. Surfy dudes mostly, but yeah, really, really weird. And they'll go through the city and city centre, and it's just like, really? You know, people are gross in the city. There's smashed glass and there's all sorts of crap around, and, you know, chewing gum. And I was actually walking out of my shopping centre next to where I work, and just inside the door is a big mat, I suppose, just to catch any of the wet coming in off the pedestrian area. And it's covered in foul chewing gum that's, you know, covered in dirt and everything else. And it's like, seriously, are people coming in the door, spitting out their gum and just walking off? It was like, far out, we're animals. Worse than animals. I don't think animals would be as disgusting. Yeah, so I hope this isn't going to be a lifestyle choice of hers. I did have a neighbour when I was my childhood home. So, yeah. Anyway, when we were teenagers, we caught up with one of the neighbours across the street who I'd never really associated with prior to this. And she used to walk everywhere barefoot, and her feet were so calloused from doing it. You know, they were like hobbit shoes. You know, that's the extreme. So I think that's, when I think of somebody who goes around barefoot, that's what I kind of think of. I think of Naomi and her heavily calloused feet. It's like, I don't want that. I want you to have nice soft feet. Anyway. There's that. Oh dear. I have been doing videos over the weekend, editing some stuff, recording when I could. Sophie is awake now. I am fortunate Marcus has actually given her some fruit and she's distracted with Octonauts, which you may or may not be able to hear lightly in the background, not sure. We have actually had her binge watching, she wanted to binge watch Dory. I know what I mean. Like, she'd watch Finding Dory, and then she'd go, Dory, 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 to watch it again as soon as it finished. So we got Finding Nemo for her, and then I've initiated her into the Toy Story story. And when we were watching Toy Story 3, she'll often sit and watch TV and she'll be exclaiming and going, oh no, and she doesn't tend to do it when she's on her own, but when she's got an audience she will get all kinds of reactionary, and it's really quite cute. So she was there is an M as well. Oh my goodness, I've missed a few of these. D. So yeah, she was watching this and I was watching 3 with her, and I said to hubby, I said, oh, I want to see what her reaction is to Toy Story 3, because when I watched Toy Story 3 for the first time, it absolutely devastated me. Like, I was, you know, bawling my eyes out when the toys are going down the trash chute to the fire, and it was like, you're shitting me, they're not going to end it like this, seriously. And it was absolutely hugely traumatic. I had been with these toys since I had been a kid. Not a kid, I was a new mum. They're like, the movie came out kind of when my kids were babies. So I had, you know, Woody and Buzz and all the other characters in my life, and it was, yeah. She didn't bat an eyelid. I was very disappointed, and I was snuggled up with her when we were watching it. But other movies, she's kind of gone, oh, but, and, you know, she's really, really funny. Now, what are you watching, Sophie? What is it? What is it, Sophie? Can you show me? Hello? Oh no, she's watching a TV show. I was just hearing this singing. Not a show. Okay. I was kind of going, is she watching one of the movies? Marcus has put a whole heap on the iPad, and I don't know what he's put on and what he hasn't put on. I'm catching up. We're trying to get ready for our trips to the mainland. Oh, it's only Octonauts, right. And he's trying to put content onto the iPad for her. Yeah, he says it's more complicated. It's always more complicated when he's involved with tech. So yeah, I'm hearing these noises and it's like, okay. I'll just stay out of it and let him do his tech thing. This pen is picking these drills up upside down. Very weird. There's another one. Get a little... Oh, I'm trying to think. I've got brain fade. I did consider getting a tag today to prattle on about, but we'll see how we go. Look, if I lose it for any considerable length of time, you'll get tag questions maybe to spark my imagination. It's been a week and I'm tired, and I had considered going back to bed, to be honest. Okay, and here's why. And, you know, don't tell, you know, his nibs who's over there. Who's listening? Yeah. Anyway, I was chatting with a friend yesterday. Well, no, actually, I'll go back to, I don't know, what was it, Thursday or Friday? Misty Johnson. Okay. Misty is of Mystic Fabrics, and she does the Ada linen, hand-dyed stuff that I buy. And she posted a message saying, hey, I'm posting some albums up. If they pop up, ignore them because they're not right and you shouldn't be seeing them. I'm trying to schedule for games night, she called it, which is actually in the middle of the day over in the States. So it's not really a games night at all. But anyway, it's a, yeah. So she's posted this, and then she goes and posts a sneak peek video of all the fabric that she's doing. And I'm kind of thinking, yeah, I'm out. The time is stupid. It's 2 a.m. You know, damn you, Misty. This is just cruel. And I shouldn't be waking up at 2 a.m. to go on the page for the games. Messaging my friend then yesterday, and she's going, have you got anything in mind for the games night? And I'm kind of thinking, well, yeah, I'm really hoping to get my hands on some Galaxy. I said I could get it on the website, so I'm not overly fussed. I didn't really want to set an alarm because I've actually been sleeping really well thanks to the pain meds. I've been sleeping like solidly with no interruptions, whereas the previous couple of weeks I'd been like waking every hour or so. And knowing me, I was going to wake up and not be able to go back to sleep. Well, a bit more chit chat, and I go and set an alarm, and I wake up and I go on and I put the Me Please down, as does everyone else. Holy cow, like if you're not there within 5 minutes, yeah, it's insane. So I ended up, one of the photos seemed to be kind of poorly labeled, and I missed the one I really wanted for one that I'm kind of thinking, okay, it's going to be a bit of a challenge. Linen, yeah, it's a bit of a challenge, but by golly, it's gorgeous. So yeah, I've put my name down for a grab bag, which is all these little, well, I don't actually know how big some of these pieces are, but anyway, for some little things in a range of her dye lots. So there's going to be lots of little kind of samplery pieces. So looking forward to that. And then I got my Galaxy in a different count. Again, looking on the phone, 2 o'clock in the morning. I think I put down for a 28 count. Because people are, on the phone it's quite hard because you comment, you need to go into a different box. And if you see a comment there, it means, well, somebody's gone in ahead of you. So there's no point in going into that one. But, you know, you kind of get there slowly but surely. Now I've got to make sure I've got the right one, so I'm orientating it the right way, and I am looking for the more grey background. Okay. So put down for a piece of Galaxy and then realise, oh damn it, it's a 28 count. And it's like, oh yeah, that's okay, it'll work out at 14 count, 2/2, no biggie. That's fine, it'll work out. And, you know, I could have cancelled, but when I went back into the other one that I particularly liked, it was already gone. There was well over the capacity that Misty had, and I'm kind of thinking, man, it was hard going, I tell you. So yeah, got some pieces from Misty. We'll wait, and I'll get an invoice in the next day or so for some of my Misty fabrics. You will get, when will you get? You will probably get the Misty video. If it didn't go up last weekend, it's going to be going up maybe in September. The last bag that she gave me had a cinnamon atomic fireball, I think it was called. Anyway, I gave it to hubby. Well, I handed it to Sophie, who handed it to hubby. I didn't know if she would or not, and he's kind of going, you know, as he's sucking it down, so you can maybe hear him in the background with that one. Misty always sends lollies of some kind as well. So yeah, it's all kinds of cool. Ooh, I've got a line. So yeah, and of course, as I expected, could not get back to sleep. So 2 o'clock in the morning, awake until after 4. I think at 4:30 I got up out of bed and made some hot milk, went back to bed and managed to doze off. So yeah, hence me being a bit tired this morning and thinking, yeah, I should just go back to bed. But we'll just keep going. Had a phone doctor appointment. Now, I don't know, do you guys in the States have this problem? Because I seem to have it here. It's like, what the hell's with the doctors? You get an appointment time and there's just, it's never met. It's like, it's rare that your appointment is on time. I had the first appointment of the day. He didn't call me till an hour and a bit into his day. I'm kind of thinking, what's the go, dude? And then my phone call with him was tiny. It was like, have you got any problems with this? Have you got... And he's kind of going, okay, I'm going to give you these meds. Which, okay, for a phone appointment, it's really kind of cool. You know, you're done, you're dusted, you've got a prescription, and everything is just emailed to either you or the chemist. And it's like, okay, that's brilliant. But, and you don't have to pay. It's bulk billed. And it's like, but you were so late. I don't understand how, when you have the first appointment of the day, you can end up being so delayed. It just boggles my mind. And also, I've seen him walk into the surgery 10 minutes after my appointment started, because he's only just arriving. And it's like, I don't know if it's unprofessional or just life of a GP. I know hubby's main doctor is atrocious, so you make an appointment with him and you can kind of bank that you're never going to see him on time. But then he gives you all the time in the world when you're in with him, so, you know, the swings and roundabouts with that too. And my own GP that I had used to go to, he was awesome, but yet never on time. It was like, so even if you try and book the first appointment after lunch, it was like, oh, really? Yeah. I do miss catching up with him though. I have contemplated actually booking an appointment with him just for a catch up. You know, because we got to know each other pretty well over the, you know, 18, well no, it would have been over the 5-year period that I really got to know him. But I would equate to being the one who saved my life, you know, effectively. Yeah, helped me through the initial stages of depression and everything else, and he was just awesome. And a lot of fun. Ooh. So yeah, last night I finished another Cora Seaton book. I think I've only got 3 books left. I think I'd be lucky if I've got another season of other books. I don't know what I'm going to do when I'm out of Cora Seaton's. I'm going to miss the cowboy and, well, I don't know if they're cowgirl. Anyway, the girls. I'm going to miss the characters that she has created. They really, she really does a good job of creating her characters and her stories, and yeah, I think I'm on a wait list for her new one, which is the one based on the sustainable living kind of show, and I think every other series is a complete finished series, so this is just, yeah, so I've got to bide my time there. It's not like I don't have stuff to read, but I'm really, really enjoying these people. You know how it is when you fall in love with characters and you kind of feel like you're part of their lives, when it's a really good book, when the author is good enough to be able to flesh out your people. I think it really makes a difference. It gets you hooked with those characters. Happens a few times, and look, it takes series is sometimes to do that, but I have read one-of-a-kind books. Sophie, can you turn that down a bit, please? I have, you know, been caught by people in one book, but the series really kind of adds to it. It's quite a special skill that the writers have. Now we've got a movie I would like to be able to watch that Rachel put me onto. I'm trying to think of the name. Was it called The Vengeance? Was it called The Vengeance? Hello? The movie that Rachel pointed us to, the Tasmanian one. Was it called The Vengeance? During the week? No, not. I'll get onto that one. Anyway, it's a convict kind of movie. Nightingale. She said it was a hugely evocative movie for her. It's an Irish chick. Haven't watched it yet, but basically it's an Irish chick who is here. Something happens. She takes revenge. It's all kinds of nasty, but it's set in Tasmania. I don't recall hearing that it was being filmed here, but looking at the trailer, it's very much, yes, it's Tasmanian kind of landscape. So I'm really, really looking forward to that, but I want to be both wide awake watching it and maybe keep an eye out for where Sophie's at while we're watching it too. Because if it's, you know, depending on what kind of movie it is, it might not be appropriate for her. And I get the impression it's not appropriate for her. So yeah, we'll see how we go with that one. We did watch, we've probably watched a movie a night in the last, there's quite a bit of those in the middle. We watched Military Wives last night. I've noticed that when you come to the emotive scenes, hubby leaves the couch and he turns his back and sits elsewhere, and I'm sitting on the couch, tears streaming and sniffing, and I used to get the piss taken out of me with my ex. This one doesn't do that. He doesn't do the piss take. I mean, he has mentioned it once or twice, but he's kind of going, are you sniffing because of the movie or do you need a tissue kind of thing? But he doesn't belittle me in the process of me having emotions watching a movie. So that's kind of cool. So yeah, watched Military Wives. It's brilliant. It's UK women, you know, Annette Bening. Is it Annette? No, not Annette Bening. Dear God. Anyway. She reminds me of Annette Bening, but it's not. I was thinking of one of the other films that Annette had been in. But, oh, what was she in? I can't even think of what she was in. But she was this busybody, controlling everything and wanting to be in control when you know exactly that she's so not in control. It was basically a British military wives. They got together and they set up a choir, a bit along the lines of the Full Monty, the swimming club, might be. All these English films that are kind of based on true stories. Anyway, so, and Calendar Girls, yeah. So, you know, you've got this dry English humour, but it's, you know, people that are beaten but not beaten, if that makes sense. The Brits just stoically continue. So anyway, these military wives who live on the military town, husbands get called off to war, husbands' partners, because there's a same-sex couple there as well. They are told, oh no, we need to have something that keeps the wives busy, and this lead character, is it? I'm gonna have to get her name. She's bossing the person around who's actually supposed to be organizing this thing, and Kristen Scott Thomas, and Sharon Horgan is the Irish chick. She's actually English, but she's sporting an Irish accent for whatever reason. And it was a real Irish accent, so I'm not quite sure. I mean, Horgan is an Irish name, so maybe she was brought up there. No, I'm gonna skip. That was a call from physio, just asking if I wanted a cancellation, and I don't. Not today. So Kristen Scott Thomas's character is bossing around Sharon's character, and they eventually form this choir. None of them have any idea anything, you know, and you've got the background, and it turns out, you know, that the whole unit of these wives, all the husbands are all deployed at the same time, and the just struggles that they go through, and it was very real. Like how they spoke with their husbands was really real, and even if you were a US military wife or partner, I think you'd get a lot of the unspoken cues that they've got. I think it was really, really well done. Well, the setup for this is this group got together, and in real life these ladies got together and formed the military choir, and it has been established then as the UK military choirs, the military wives choirs all around the world. There were 75 choirs. I think they've got the synopsis kind of thing at the end. There are 75 of these choirs around the world, and it showed them all kind of coming together and singing at the very end, and it was just gorgeous. But these are just military women who may or may not have a singing background. Certainly the movie portrays them as having no musical background whatsoever, and they just gave it a go, and it was just really, really cool. As you know, British, it's not even a rom-com, British drama movies go, it was just really, really cool. If you have somebody in service, I think it would be well worth your time watching the movie. So Military Wives, it was just gorgeous. I don't think you'd regret it, put it that way. So that was really, really good. What else have we watched this week? No, I'm just trying to think. There was another couple of movies that we had watched. I just can't think what they were. It's been nice watching movies with Sophie, though. Yeah, lots of reruns. I did think more about that series that I wanted to do, but to be honest, I don't want to start another diamond painting to have so many on the go. I have one that I've gonna miss a bunch. I have one that I feel is a huge burden to do, because it's a blank canvas, so it's basically counted diamond painting, and I'm doing them in blocks of 10 by 10. It's hard work, so I'm lacking in motivation to do it, but I really need to get on with it because there are other things that hinge off it. And yeah, it's something that I think will benefit the community as a whole, so I really should just do it. I haven't done much stitching again. I've been tired or sore at the end of the day, trying to go to bed earlier as well, so I feel like I've been very unproductive from that point of view. What was that? Yeah, my husband's saying it's the codeine. And I'm trying not to be too hard on myself being unproductive. I'm trying to kind of go, you know what, I haven't done it. I haven't done it. It's not a, you know, well, damn you, you haven't done it, and now you're going to have to make up for it. I'm not putting myself under that much pressure. I'm just kind of going, you know what, it is what it is. I haven't put a video up that night. It is what it is. That kind of thing. And I love it when I get my comments and people are saying, hey, thanks for the video, and, you know, love this, and, you know, Brittany, fangirling, hey, Brittany. You know, saying, you know, I love these Frivolous Fridays or whatever it is, and I'm kind of going, yeah, you know, so do I, and they're supposed to be short and they're supposed to be snappy, in that it's 15 minutes to do the dot to dot, give or take. It's, you know, then the voiceover recording for the facts, because I can't read and dot to dot at the same time. It's hard enough trying to find the dots in some cases. Multitasking. I know. He's always right in multitasking. Anyway, if I was to job share, it would take twice as long, and no, well, you might get some stuff done. I've got, what have I got? I've got a 3-page dot to dot. 3 or 4 pages. The whole thing like spreads out. I'm nearly finished the book. Like, I've got 2 or 3 pages left of this book, and I'm kind of thinking, yeah, I could, but it's going to be an awful long, facty kind of thing, which could be effectively like a WiPnChat kind of thing. You're just going to get fact after fact after fact on whatever subject. It could be that I even do, say, I don't know, Avengers movie facts or Marvel movie facts. Something that, you know, really does interest a lot of people, maybe. That's where I'm kind of thinking with these monster spreads, because I'm going to be potentially doing 3 full pages. Now, it's the dots are probably a bit further apart as well, but potentially I could be looking at a 45-minute dot to dot. So I've got to have the content for that kind of thing. And I don't know what the picture is, so I can't give you, you know, say that it's going to be linked with the picture or not at this stage. So hence me doing the facts afterwards, because when I start the thing, I don't know what it's going to be. There's not so many of those. Anyway, we'll wait and see. I made the roast dinner yesterday. Sundays usually hubby does the roast, and it's something that tends to tie him up in the kitchen most of the day. He just takes his time perfecting all the different bits. Me, I go in and get it all done in 2 hours. Yeah, wham bam, thank you, man. There's no love in the meal. No, of course there is. Anyway, we had roast chicken. Oh, it was delicious. What was that? Oh, we got the chicken out of, well, I got the chicken out of the oven going, yeah, it's done, after I twisted the drumstick to prove it was done. And I'm getting it out, and because I had cooked it with so much moisture in the pan for the gravy. It hadn't really roasted dry, so it was still quite moist along the chest breastbone. So hubby goes with his usual with anything to do with skin. Let's use the heat gun. Now we use the heat gun on our pork crackling. Don't laugh, girls. If you have a husband and you have a heat gun and you like pork crackling, get him in the kitchen. It takes hours, yeah. You render it off. What we do with our pork crackling is put it into an oven at 125 centigrade, which would be a 250 Fahrenheit.
What?
Yeah, it's half.
No.
Yes,
No,
it is.
no.
You're saying it's the 75 Fahrenheit? No.
It's 8 divided by 5 plus 32 if you read it.
Oh, shut up!
It's not.
He's trying to do math on me now. It's about half.
Okay, Google. Convert 125 Celsius.
125 degrees Celsius is equivalent to 257 degrees Fahrenheit.
It's not double.
It's roughly double. Anyway, so 125, 250 Fahrenheit. Put it in the oven for, I think it goes in for about 3 hours at a low temperature. Basically all you're doing is rendering off the back fat under the skin. Now you could peel it off, but getting it nice and soft and jelly-like, you can actually scrape it off with a knife. You could actually scrape it off with a spoon, to be honest. It just sloughs off. It's really nice. But the bubbling and the softening of the fat juice helps to work the skin from the underneath as well. So that's the first bit. Then you take it out. He starts doing the veggies, and the pièce de résistance is the hard work of the heat gun. So you flip it over on your tray. You make sure you've got your drainage happening, and you start your heat gun on the underside of the skin. And you're going so lightly over this that it seems to take absolutely ages. You're drying this out. And I followed Jamie Oliver's instructions for doing crackling. This shot all over his. And I know he's pretty good. But
Are you saying I'm better than Jamie Oliver?
yeah.
Squeeze!
Oh dear. Looking for missed one. Alright. So yeah, you're going over the underbelly. You're basically drying it but crisping it kind of slowly at the same time, and then the magic starts to happen. You start getting the popcorn happening.
Well, no, yeah, you gotta try
And it
avoid that early
takes
on.
an hour or two before you get the popcorn happening for the, for it to do what it needs to do.
If you do that too quickly,
So if you
you'll
get the
end up being very
popcorn too
coarse.
quick, it's quite wet still, and it ends up chewy. So what you're aiming to do is dry it and crisp it and then popcorn it.
And then you gotta do the other side.
And then you got to flip it over and do the actual skin side. And when it pops and it's, yeah.
Be prepared for 3 hours.
And we have a video, which I'm not going to insert, but we have a video of the 10-year-old chewing into a piece of crackling, and the crack is just incredible. And it's amazing. So yeah, we're well used to the heat gun and the theory of crisping up the skin and everything else. So I get the heat gun out and I start running it over the chicken, and the chicken starts popcorning. It's like the thing is alive and kicking, basically, as the skin is bubbling and popping, and it does just dry out the meat just enough. So it dries out the skin just enough without drying out the rest of the meat. So it was beautiful and juicy. It was tasty. I had only seasoned it lightly with some lemon pepper and some mixed herbs inside and out. The chicken gravy, because it was made with the juice rendering, so the onion in the bottom of the pan got soaked in white wine. When it evaporated off, it got water, and then it got the chicken juice spilt out constantly to make sure the onion wasn't going to burn. So the chicken gravy with some onion was just divine. It was just amazing. Mocha actually benefits from that the next day because he gets the leftover gravy. And this morning I actually had regret in giving him the gravy. I'm kind of going, this is so good, you bloody dog. Benefiting from all this goodness. But yeah, we don't reuse the roast as a roast, the leftovers. So the chicken that's left over will go into pasta tonight, or maybe my work lunches if I was working. But yeah, hubby's not a fan of cooking the white meat. He doesn't trust that it's going to be cooked, even though my method is reasonably foolproof in that you twist off the drumstick and it's done. If it twists off.
I was not a great fan of cooking white meat.
Yes.
I don't mind rotisserie chicken
Yeah.
on barbecue.
He doesn't mind rotisserieing the chicken on the barbecue. He doesn't mind anything to do with the barbecue and the slow cooker. But yeah. So I don't mind doing the chicken, but it's not something we've had an awful lot.
Pork, but I just, white meat as in general has been, particularly fish.
Yeah, we haven't had fish in ages. He doesn't like cooking fish because it stinks. And it is quite smelly.
And if I'm borderline,
And if he's not feeling very well, yeah, the smell of the fish is going to put him off.
I'll probably add vomit to your meal.
Oh, thanks.
Not deliberately.
So I don't even have tinned fish, which I probably should have more of, because I'm going to reek of it for hours. Even if I was to brush my teeth, I'd still smell of it. But I do kind of like, my brother and I had come up with this creation of tinned tuna, mayonnaise, sweet corn, and crisps, chips, potato chips, in a roll or in a sandwich. It would do absolutely nothing for your cholesterol levels, but it was delicious. And you can actually get tins of tuna, mayonnaise and sweet corn now, but the amount of tuna that you get is, you know, hardly anything to getting a tin of tuna and making it yourself. And when you've got the corn in it, because it's frozen corn, and you mix it up, it actually kind of chills the fish that's been in the cupboard, so it's quite refreshing. But yeah, I haven't had one of those for ages, because again, hubby doesn't do the fish. And I could potentially do it for lunch, but I've been trying to steer off having too much of a carb load at lunchtime. I don't know why. I mean, I know why, but it doesn't seem to be working. Ew, you're different. Anyway. That might be a C. I'm going to put it on a C. There might have been a drill left over. Oop, eek. Flip them all over. Don't you hate when that happens? Yes, so the roast chicken will hopefully be happening a bit more often. It's usually a good price too in the supermarkets for a chicken. And seeing how far it goes, that is quite pleasing with the amount of leftovers. Because I do a chicken Caesar salad, and if it's just the two of us, I can actually get the leftover chicken to do the chicken for the chicken Caesar salad. I still had leftovers after it the other week. There was way more than I was going to use for my chicken Caesar salads for the days that I made the Caesar salad. So it's just a good way of doing it. The only issue is that it wouldn't be done earlier in the day. It would have to be done after the roast has been eaten. So it just means I've got to have everything else kind of prepped to then just throw in the chicken at the end of the day. Because I had been trying to weigh my food, you know, get the portions all kind of equal, that kind of thing.
There's an animation for you.
An animation. You. Yeah. He's got a picture of Sophie sitting in his lap doing the pork. Big W went in there during the week to get some pet food and some pajamas, and they are starting to do, or they have just started, I don't know how I missed the notification, maybe it's just because I don't read my spammy kind of email. They've started to do the book clubs again for the kids, the free books for kids, and this time around there are 4 books for toddlers and 4 books for early readers, whereas the last time they had done a series of 8 or 9 books for toddlers, and then they ended up doing a more established reader club as well, and so I collected those, and those were some of the stories that I was reading with Sophie. So I missed the first book in the series, which was a shame because they're the ones that I really kind of want for Sophie, but anyway. I got Goodnight and Lullaby and Goodnight, I think is the name of the book. Odd story. It's a kind of rhyming story, but none of it really makes an awful lot of sense. But read it to her yesterday, and then she trots off and gives it to her dad and gets him to read it to her, and yeah, all kinds of cute. But all these Aussie animals, it was gorgeous, yeah. And the artwork is amazing. From the artist. I didn't recognise the artist, but I did recognise the writer of it as one that I had read before with her. These are books that are done by Scholastic Books, and yeah, I'm a bit of a book bitch and love my stories. Reading mostly on the Kindle at the moment. But kid stories I have kept. I'm just listening to the rain on the roof. Kid stories I have kept, you know, soft copy or whatever. Real books. And she's got tons of them. Marcus has a big collection of books, and I had a collection of books, so putting the two together, she's got lots of books to read. It's the one thing I would probably spend more money on, other than crafting, than anything else, is good stories. Between the story and the artistry, I think books are so special. Always held a special place for me when I was a kid. I would escape in my books from a shitty life. So I hope that she will do the same. Not that she'll need to escape, but I hope she will have a love for books and stories like that. Now I'm going to do the plus. Did I do the plus? No, I missed that too. I need to try and record her everyday chatter. She's got a funny way of saying I'm going to go and whatever. It's kind of like I'm gonna, and she adds these syllables to it. So darn cute. But when she stops saying it, I'm going to miss what she was saying. She can actually control Google. And it's funny, she actually asked me a question yesterday, and I don't remember my kids asking a question that young. Like, I was trying to, I think I was struggling to plug the electric blanket in, and she comes up to me and she says, "What are you doing?" I was like, really? Yeah. I don't know why I was so taken aback by the question, but I was. Yeah. And it was a proper sentence. And I love that we're starting to get more understanding of what she's saying. Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, I know I had it with the others, so I don't know, maybe I was just too busy as a fourth time mum to capture some of those things, or maybe, you know, 20 years ago I've forgotten, but I'm certainly loving being in the moment with her. She's a lunatic, I'll tell you that. She is an absolute lunatic. She will do these twirly kind of, you know, turning around on one spot kind of thing. She'll do it up on the couch, and it's like, oh my god, she's going to kill herself. So it's like, no, get down on the floor if you're going to do the turning. And she'll go into the kitchen and, you know, get herself dizzy and then fall over and, you know, can't get up kind of. So she's all into the sensory kind of play. You know, and I'm just loving each and every interaction as she's doing this. Yeah, it's really cool seeing the world through her eyes. She's got a wicked sense of humour. She kept on crawling in between the two of us last night after she had finished her dinner, which she hadn't. But anyway, she was a bit reluctant to eat the pumpkin alone. She's a huge mashed potato fan. She's a bit more reluctant to eat it if it's a roast potato. But because I had used the potatoes on another meal on Friday night, because I did something different from the burger night. I actually ended up doing a roast garlic pork steak. I used the potatoes up with that, whereas normally we don't use the potatoes on Friday night. Anyway, I was a bit naughty. I'm looking for a no entry. I've gone and used it, and I have missed colours left, right, and centre. Now, there's my no entry and A. Okay. And I'm not putting the tops on these properly. Where are they? 5 of these. Hubby had a bit of a epiphany recently. where he was saying the middle girl might be like him, and that he was very tactile with the food, and if it's not a sensation that she's happy with, she'll, I don't know, chew it until it's whatever. And he had the same thing when he was a kid, and I'm kind of going, yeah, I probably used to chew peas until they were dead, buried, and I don't know, you could liquidize them. Anyway, I used to hate peas, and it could have been a texture thing for me too. But anyway, whether Sophie is governed by this texture, I haven't quite figured that one out. We'll see. Now, see, where did I put that away? Not paying any attention, I don't think. She likes potato chips, as in hot chips. She loves mash. She actually gets the mash wand.
There's no chocolate custard and yes, strawberry yogurt.
She'll choose a strawberry yogurt over a chocolate custard from the fridge. She's quite particular when she's asked what she wants from a fruit pouch. She's going through a bit of a banana phase at the moment. Scrap. She doesn't like the plain biscuits. She likes the iced biscuits. Marcus will actually give her plain biscuits with a fruit pouch at one of her meal times, and she will tend to leave the biscuits lying around or crush them up after eating a few of them. Whereas the ice biscuits she'll devour, you know. Maybe it's just because they're plain and the icing being extra sweet. That could be as simple as that, I don't know. What have we got? Oh, with the no entry. I'm very hot. I was going to say, I'm going with the no entry, and then I can't, not the no entry, the U-turn. U-turn? Yeah, we go with the U-turn. And I'm sitting here and I watch her blonde hair and I'm going, oh my god, it's so pretty. None of my kids were blonde like her. It's gorgeous. And I know full well that she had the longest shower this morning with her dad. And I know full well that when I go and get in the shower, she'll be stripped off and trying to get in there with me. She's very much a water baby. From the shower point of view, she's awesome. Whereas my older daughter, I don't know what the hell happened. She got water in her eyes one day and then she freaked out with every shower since then. So I'm so pleased. Sophie is so willing to shower, because water or suds in the face is hugely traumatic for me from that point of view. So very thankful that she's enjoying the shower. It certainly makes it much more of a pleasure. She's got her own towel that we have. I've bought the funny, like it's a hoodie towel, you know, the corner has a bit of a hood on it. I've bought the funny ones that had, it's shaped like a shark, but it's actually quite skinny. Whereas this towel that I use all the time with her is just this great big black square. It's just a black towel with the corner in a hood, and it's awesome. It's just thebomb.com. Absolutely love this thing. There's another one that I got. It's green. Maybe it's a dinosaur or something. Haven't used that either, because this black towel is just the bee's knees. It's just brilliant. In its simplicity, it's just a square towel, and it will fit her for quite a bit longer. In that, you know, the hood goes over the hair corner, and the rest reach around, and you know, the opposite corner still kind of reaches her feet. You know, so she's picked up, bundled up, and thrown on the bed and dressed, and the hair scrubbed to get the heavy wet out of it, and you know, she's off and running then when she's dressed. I know I had a favourite hair towel when I was a teenager. It had this kind of velvet finish on one side, like a microfiber I suppose, and then a rough side on the inside. Yeah, again, tactile I suppose, for me. And it was bright orange. I had it for years, and I think I threw it into my kayaking bag, and I think it's probably disintegrated in there because it was just used for the kayaking kind of stuff. It was, you know, it was just the spare towel, but yeah, it was definitely a favourite. Didn't go with anything. And then I started using the hair turbans. And not that you guys get to see it because my hair is up, because it's actually quite cool, and not that the filming is hot, but anyway. I will actually have my hair up when I know I'm going to be working to keep me cool, but my hair is actually down to my butt these days. So I'm loving the length of it, and it still works in the turban. I've always tied my hair up in a towel in some shape or form after a shower. Discovered the turbans years and years ago, and it's just like, oh, it's so much better than having half a towel draped down my back, which is why the orange towel got retired, because it was huge and yeah, heavy. Hair turbans are definitely a thing if you've got longer hair. Trying to convert the kids. That's taking a bit longer. Now, the next couple of weeks I will have a floss tube go up for the first weekend in September. I don't know where this year has gone, seriously. It's just... The one thing that echoes, I suppose, with this is the bit in the Bible where it says the days at the end are going to be faster, or seem faster. They do. The days just, I don't know, 24 hours seems to fly past. Whereas time seemed to drag when I was a teenager or a kid, or I don't know. Is it what you're doing, or is it the age, or I don't know. What is it that makes it seem so fast these days and so slow years ago? But it's really just the same. Don't know. Do not know. I have to check out the travel conditions for being able to travel interstate. At the moment they've got borders shut. So gotta try and get some authority information to see, can we do what we're thinking of doing? And you know what's weird? The information seems to be in our state page there, but in the state that we want to go to, it doesn't seem to be there. And it's like, this is really frustrating in that there's so different kind of criteria or standards of information. What are you doing, Sophie? Oh! Okay. Thank you. Is it all better now? Thank you. Oh, she's got a remote control that's got a light on it. And she's flashing it. She makes phone calls too, all the dang time. Makes phone calls. I don't know who she's talking to. You gonna go? My seat? No, not your seat. I've got the storage container on what she calls her seat. Sometimes she will sit next to me, particularly when I'm editing videos. I'm probably a bit less touchy because I don't have her fiddling with stuff, which will make me get grumpy. But when I'm editing the videos, she'll sit next to me and she'll play with my magnets and take them on and off the ruler. And because I've got a ruler at the end of my desk here, so she sticks them on there and we'll kind of play with the things back and forth. Quite happily being amused by that for hours. Oh, and now she's making phone calls. Because she'll hang up and she'll go, okay, bye. And she uses TV remotes as her phone. God. How are we doing? Oh, did I tell you about the movie 1917? The one that's supposed to be the continuous storyline. It looks like but the whole story follows the soldiers rather than jumping back and forth in scenes and that kind of thing. So 1917 is story. Sorry? Yeah, it appears like it's a continuous movie. Actually, it's not. The shortest recording is 8 seconds, and the longest recording is 39 minutes, I think, maybe in one take. Anyway, it was supposed to look like it was just one. The cuts in it are done really, really well. But that's besides the point. It's basically, the two guys get an instruction that they've got to get across no man's land, across the German side, to tell their counterpart unit not to attack, that it's a setup by the Germans in World War II, that they're not to do this attack that they were planning, and the brother is in the recipient unit, so it's their journey through getting attacked and everything else. That was a really, really good movie. I'd heard reviews of the filming process. I thought, oh yeah, it sounds really interesting. But watching, it was actually really, really good. It was very enjoyable. There's a couple of big names in it. I think Colin Farrell was in it. Benedict Cumberbatch. No, Mark Strong is in it, and you kind of think, oh, you know, are these guys going to pay attention? But they do pay attention to the instruction not to attack, because they've been told, no, we've been told this attack is happening, and they're kind of going, no, this is they're going to annihilate you when you do the attack, and it's really good. Very, very cleverly done movie. But there's some of the scenes, actually, if you're squeamish, don't watch it, because it's war, and some of the scenes were just too real for comfort, and especially as if you're not a fighter, you might not want to even entertain that kind of stuff. And if you were in the war, any kind of combat, you'd probably be triggered by the thing. It was way too realistic. Yeah. But from a filming point of view, it was excellent. I've gone and missed a C. The C's are a little bit similar to the J's. The tone of the colour is a tiny bit different. Alright, I think I got that now. Chevron. Alright. I'm going to try and multi-place for a little bit. There's not a huge amount of 2s and 3s. I noticed Rachel, I think, had a tip. Somebody was asking on the groups how people multi-place. And I think her suggestion was go for the big colours first. And I had maybe heard somebody else say go for the lesser colours first. I kind of tend to go for the lesser colours, to be honest. Because then it leaves the blocks towards the end, which means that you kind of have that final sprint finish. I know there were some people on the group saying that they've never tried multi-placing at all. Look, it very much is each to your own. I think if you're gonna try it, give it a fair go. You're not gonna like it the first couple of places. Hang on, I've got something. Might be a piece of wax. You're not necessarily going to like it or find your rhythm the first few sections that you might do of a painting. But if you persevere, don't get too hard on yourself. I think you might find you do actually enjoy some of the process of multi-placing. Look, when I started this hobby, I did think of multi-placing as cheating. Does that make sense? Because, you know, you're putting down blocks rather than one at a time. Nobody says you've got to do this one at a time. If you were painting and you had a large area to paint, you don't use the pissy small little brush, you get a bigger brush. If you're painting a wall, you have a big brush. You use a roller. You don't use your school art paintbrush with, you know, a 1/2 inch brush head. So it's using the tool for the job. So yeah, I had to think about that. Now, multi-placing is great if you've got good drills. If your drills are shitty, you're going to struggle and it's going to be a horrible time. So again, pick and choose where you might do your multi-placing. Pick and choose. So I think I had struggled with my Hua can when I was multi-placing. Hated, and it was confetti central too. But when I got onto my Ever Moment and I had good drills, it was such a refreshing change. When I'm now doing a DAC, holy cow, that's just, particularly with a round, it is an absolute pleasure to multi-place on that, and your progress is there. You don't feel like it's taking forever and a day to complete the painting, unless maybe you like that kind of thing. It just, I think, makes the process so much better when you've got good drills. I think skinny heads make the difference as well. These slimline heads definitely help from the chunky multi-placers that you get as a standard in the kits. You know, most kits from Ali or DAC or anywhere else, they tend to give you the chubby heads, the chubby placers as a standard go-to. I'm not quite sure why. Maybe the skinny heads are more expensive. I'm not entirely sure. But I love skinny placers. Skinny placers are the business. No, I'm actually going to go from right to left now. I need to figure out which pen I'm going to convert. I had a dilemma today before starting my diamond painting when I was picking up my pen. Which pen am I going to use today? And then it was like, am I going to convert this for the everlasting tip or not yet? And it was like, I don't know which pen I want to use. I looked at the new diamond pens that I've received. One's got a skinny end, one's got a fatter end, and it was like, do I want to? Maybe not. So I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do as my everlasting tip pen, but I'm not sure when that video is going up from a schedule point of view, but there is going to be my everlasting tip enveloping, as I call them, because it comes in an envelope. And I do explain, so from the point of view, BFF are doing steel tips, Redneck Beauty, Patriotic Beauty, Stephanie Sebastian, all the same, awesome chick. She is going to be doing a steel tip as well. I'm not sure how they are machining these, either her or BFFs. I know BFFs seem to have a rubber seal in 2 spots on theirs. Everlasting tips do not. They don't come with any kind of seal, grip, or anything else. There is no other way that I can see that you can tell these apart. They don't etch a number in or anything else. I know Everlasting Tips Nicole has a reseller in the UK, so you can actually get Everlasting Tips if you're in the UK from the English store, so you can get them in a timely fashion. I get mine from WA, where Nicole is. Don't know where these things originated. Clearly somebody is able to make these, and BFF have now decided that they're going to be ones to do it in the States. Bit like, I suppose, the Paddy Wax Revolution, and then Not Your Mama's Mud, and who else was there? There's a couple of other wax people now doing their wax, and you're kind of thinking, well, somebody else came up with this idea before you. And I was a little bit upset on Robin's behalf when I think it was Not Your Mama's Mud came out almost on the back of Robin doing paddy wax. But you know, it's not just copycats, but people do have the same ideas at about the same time, and you're kind of thinking, well, it's going to take time to develop this recipe. We have got an Aussie chick doing wax. I've actually got some here. I probably won't try it. I actually got these because I like the lolly jars. But she's got the wax in here. I don't know if it's a soy blend. It feels quite hard. Feels like beeswax, smells like beeswax. There is no scent in it. But she's doing that from Australia. I think that's Diamond Painting Penz Adelaide or Diamond Painting Penz Australia. Doing that. So if you're Aussie and you are watching and you're interested in a locally made wax, yeah, unfortunately not scented. Scented would be cool. But for us to get paddy wax shipped in is ridiculously expensive. And aside from the fact that I'm not a fan of the paddy wax, just because I've got used to the blue tack, I think. I didn't like that when I was putting it down after loading it up again, I was getting a residue, and look, I think it's more me than it was the fault of the paddy wax. I just could not seem to get a handle on it, so I stopped using it, but I love the smells. But for the simple fact of cost, I haven't ordered the super sticky wax, which could be, you know, a game changer for me. It might work perfectly well. But, yeah. Not going to pay $22 on top of whatever the cost is for getting a super sticky tin in a pretty tin. It's kind of like, you know, the tin's gorgeous, and the packs that she does are gorgeous, but if I'm not going to use the product, then why? So I'm trying to be sensible in the process as well, when I've been completely unsensible on other things. Fully admit that. You know, I mean, I like the pretty stuff, even though I don't, you know, use it. I'm not using my cover minders yet. I still buy cover minders. You know, part of the collecting thing. And because I've got the cover minders on display, I still get to enjoy them. You know, and Sophie gets a ton of pleasure out of them when she plays. It could be that I'll end up melting the paddy wax in a candle melt. I've got a votive thingy somewhere around, and I could do that so that I've got the scent, because one of them is fir tree. I love fir trees. We have an artificial Christmas tree, so it would give me the Christmassy smell at Christmas time. But you know, then it comes down to, where do I put a burning candle with a toddler? You know, doesn't happen. Just checking I've got the right colour. I do. She's playing with LPSs now, and she's got them in a car, so she's driving them around. But she's got the iPad playing, she's got the TV playing, she's got all this noise. I mean, I get it. I used to hate not having background noise on when I was home alone with the kids. So I just put the TV on and then just get on with things. Or put a DVD in and, you know, watch it for the umpteenth time. kind of lonely when you're on your own, especially if there's kids and the kids are going to sleep. Or sometimes it's nice, but I was never really a radio person. We had a talk show in Ireland I used to listen to, Jerry Ryan. Jerry is now dead. But he would talk about all kinds of things. I never got into the whole adult radio. Although I did have a work colleague, I shared the office with him, and he listened to ABC radio. That was sometimes quite interesting. I actually listened to that one day and read a book off the back of whoever it was that was talking, because they had written the book and the interview interested me. So this, you know, plenty of stuff. Ooh, I didn't pick one up. Plenty of stuff out there to listen to, whether it's podcast or WiPnChat, that you can kind of go, ooh, I want to do that. I want to try that. It's like so much sensory stuff out there and not enough time to enjoy it. Yeah, there was somebody else I was talking to. It might have been Rachel last weekend. We were chatting. She was getting into her dyeing. I haven't caught up with her video yet. And I'm kind of going, oh my god, the dyeing was so much fun. But then what are you going to do? Because you get one piece dyed and you want to dye more, but you've never got enough time, it feels, to be able to use all your dyed stuff. And it's like there is not enough time in this lifetime to do all the things. And I'm kind of thinking, you know, even if I had, okay, money wasn't an issue, hypothetically, money isn't an issue, what would I do? And I'm kind of thinking, I still would not have the time to do everything I would want to do in my lifetime. And she's kind of going, yeah, it's the same. Like, here's a question for you. What would you do if money wasn't an issue and health, probably more importantly, wasn't an issue? Nothing was restricting you but you and your thinking. What is it you would spend your time doing? She thought she'd get bored, and I kind of went, no, I didn't get bored. I had a year at home with Sophie when she was born, and I loved it. I loved the doing nothing and sitting on the couch with her on my chest asleep. I loved the crafting time that I got. I've got colleagues who were, talking about if they had to have 2 weeks in quarantine, how bored that they'd be. And I'm kind of thinking, far out, I've got stuff coming out my ears. There's no way I'd be bored in a 2-week quarantine, let alone, in a year again, if I was able to have time off like that. And it's like, oh man, I'd kill for time to do stuff. I'd love to travel. I don't have the money to travel, but I would love to travel and see the country, see the countryside, experience the heat and then probably run away, and experience the cold and then probably run away. And but again, if health wasn't an issue, I wouldn't have the aches that I seem to have in the wintertime now. I could go to the chilly spots. I could, travel on any form of transport that I wanted. I've often said I'd love to travel across the US on horseback. That's not going to happen in my lifetime now. I'm too freaking old and crumbly to be able to consider getting on a horse for extended periods. And there's too many cars and there's too many roads. And yeah, I don't know how. I seriously, reincarnation needs to be a thing. Can I book in what I'm going to do next year? or next lifetime kind of thing. Like a holiday vacation time, you know, next lifetime can I do this, and next time, you know, I mean, it's kind of like, yeah, I'd love to live in, let's say, Outlander TV time, but far out it was hard, you know, there wasn't washing machines, there wasn't conveniences, people were stinky because they didn't wash, you know, there's certainly benefits for having the modern technology now that you didn't have back in the day when it was quiet and peaceful, and you know, you'd less pressure on your time, and yeah, I don't know, it's another lifetime, hey, another few lifetimes, I think. Alright, we are done. I am going to roller this. Oh. Ooh. And it's trying to run away. Might not have been stuck very well. And did you notice there wasn't much clicking because it's every moment and they just sit in place. They don't have the tabs or anything else that bump them up and all that. I have had no popping drills with this in each time it's been rolled up and rolled back and rolled. Yeah, no popping drills. Okay. Don't know what it is. No clue. There's that. No clue, Julie. No clue. It's so cool. Alright, look, I'll let you go. We are pretty much on par. These are an hour and 40 minutes, an hour and a half, because I'm talking, to do one of these sections. So, you know, give you an idea. It's a 70-hour project of 40 by 50, give or take. I wish I knew I could have the same kind of track record with my cross stitch, so I could kind of go, this section's going to take me however long it takes. I know it takes me an hour to do Peppermint Purple. She's getting boisterous. She just threw a box. Scamp. So, you know, I would love to be able to have that same experience with the cross stitch. I love that I can do the Wednesday night Peppermint Purple within an hour. It takes me maybe an hour and a half on the double block, whereas the single block takes less than an hour. It's an absolute pleasure to do. I think the cunning cross stitch is putting me off because it's so scattered, but when I pick it up I love it. Yeah, again, tired. Hubby says it's codeine. I don't know. Life. Too tired. See again? Money, youth. Money, health, youth, anything. Yeah. So it's not just having time, it's having youth and fitness and... yeah. Alright, thank you for joining me. Please drop me comments if you've, you know, something that I have said has, you know, sparked your imagination. If there's anything that you're after that I haven't put in, so the descriptions, please, if I miss it, please message me. Yeah, I will see you around on the tubes. Take care of yourselves. I do think this might be grass heads, but I have no idea. The colours are just... oh, it could be a sunset. Maybe. Yeah. We'll see how we go. Alright, I'll take a picture. I'll throw it up on Instagram. And I will play with you again soon. Bye for now. May the road rise up to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warm upon your face, and the rain fall soft upon your fields. And until we meet again, may God hold you in the palm of his hand.